Well, good Sunday morning. It's the 15th of May. Hot damn, hot damn, hot damn. It's the 15th of May. Welcome to the Rick Bork channel, where the beer's always cold, language fucking sucks, my shit's always broken, your opinion doesn't matter. Borkfest 2022 is July 29th and 30th, and you have until the end of May to let me know if you're coming or not. So that way we can get food and drinks, and then we can make arrangements or whatever. That wheel, that one. This is another wheel off of Bertha. Bertha is the Economy Power King tractor, and she's had some calcium chloride loaded tires for years, and you can see, get in here, oh, can't even flake that one off. That one's bad. You can see it's taking its toll on the wheel. Slow leaking, some significant pitting, and obvious damage going on to those wheels from that calcium chloride. Super common back in the day. That's how you counterweighted the tractor. Cast weight wheel weights were available, but they were expensive, and it became a cheaper alternative to fill them with calcium chloride. So, we are going to buff this wheel down. We're going to strip it all the way down. We're going to bring it all the way back, and we're going to make it look like this one. I already did one, did a lot of video shorts on it and all that stuff. So we're going to dive off into the full-length videos now. Let's get it. DCG 418. This is a 60 volt brushless 4.5 inch angle grinder. They make it the bigger one in a 7. I don't need anything that big, and we're running a 60 volt flex 9 amp hour battery on this. It'll work plenty well. And then our final piece of the puzzle there is a twisted knot wire cut brush. These particular brushes are from Bulk Amp from Napa. I bought them when they were on clearance, and even at the clearance price, I'm not really impressed. You can probably get them for about the same money at Harbor Freight, and I actually think those ones don't last too bad. This one sheds wires pretty quickly, and it seemed like the knots were wearing off pretty fast. So we're gonna obviously take this outside because of dust and rust and scale and all that shit flying all over the place. So we're gonna do it out here. But yeah, these cut brushes I wouldn't recommend. Napa's since switched to the Fournet brand, which I think they hold up better. They're a little more money, but you know, time versus money, and you know, what's the most efficient for you? So let's buff this wheel down, shall we? This one actually has a 73 date code on it, so that's kind of cool. Now the valve stem core, or where the valve stem comes through the wheel here, we want to pay attention to that area. Essentially there's a little bit more pressure there because air pressure inside that tube, inside that tire, that's a hole there. It's trying to push that tube out, so you want to make sure that's really nice and flat and clean. The valve stem on the tubes that we're putting in is reinforced, so it helps, but you still want to have as much filling with there as you can. inside of the wheel stripped, or the outside of the wheel stripped, depends on how you want to look at it. Okay, so before you start squawking at me about wearing a face mask, two things. I can't fucking breathe with the bastards on because I'm a fat kid and I need a lot of oxygen. And then they fog up my safety glasses, and I don't have a face shield because I bought one and I don't know where the fuck it went. So, I use prevailing wind, all other fucking shit, and then, you know, when you're shedding off on that brush, it's, if you're looking at the top of the grinder, it's shedding off that way, most of the material, so that's what I do. Throw paint and rust into the wind. So I'm gonna go ahead and strip the inside of that wheel, the outside of the wheel, however you wanna call it, because it's, you know, I guess you can look at it either way. I'm gonna go strip the rest of that wheel with that wire brush. There's the same process, and then I'll show you what I'm getting into next. Well, good news, bad news. Good news is we got the rest of the wheel buffed down. Bad news, this area right here we're taking the chisel to it to knock all the deep rust scale off of it here, and then we can assess and see how bad it is. Sometimes even with a sandblaster, heavy coarse brush, all that stuff, you gotta get in there, and if it can glance off the surface, you still gotta get in there and chip that junk out of there. So as you can maybe see already, that right there is not a good thing. It rusted completely through this wheel. The other one had some, the other wheel on the tractor had some pitting going on, but nothing like this. So we're gonna have to do some major reconstruction on this. I'm gonna have to chip away at it for a while. This could turn into being a much larger hole, but we're gonna have to definitely fill in some material. That rust scale comes from about there to here. So there could be a pretty good 2.5 inch piece that ends up having to be restructured, rebuilt, and we end up having to mold in a new piece and finish it all off. So I guess you're getting an idea what it takes to entirely restore a rusted out wheel. Granted, it's not as bad as some of them I've seen, and I fixed much worse. So I'm gonna chip away at this. I'll bring it back and we'll go over what it's gonna take to fix it. Okay, so after some work with the little chisel or the little punch there, I sharpened that down to a tip so you can get in and chip a lot of the rust out of the holes in that, and you can still, there's some more to do in here, and we'll get a flat disc in here as well, but you can see the major part of that's bad. This here has gone through most of this material in this area, and a lot of this here is to the point where it's paper thin. It's going to have to be rebuilt essentially from about there to about right there, from this edge to that edge. Fortunately, the valve stem hole looks like it's salvageable. We might have to do a little building in that area to bring that structure back up. So again, like I said previously, the pressure inside that tire is basically trying to push that valve stem out that hole. Over time, I don't know if that spot in there would give out, so we'll probably do a little building in there as well. But we're gonna have to make a pretty good sized patch. There's a lot more scale here. And this area here, that's got to be knocked out. And we'll be rebuilding, so we'll get it cleaned up. I'll find a piece of steel or figure out if I want to cut that completely out of there and patch it, or if I want to try to build it back. I'm just going to stew on it a little bit. I got a couple other jobs that are going to come in today, so I probably won't get back till tonight. And it's a beautiful day outside, so I want to get some stuff done outside. So we'll come back to this after dark. Well, it's Monday. I don't know, what day did I work on this wheel last, and when did we make video last? I don't know, but whatever. Other things going on, and so we got the wire wheel and the grinder out, and we took these surfaces down a little bit. You can see this one isn't as bad as I thought up in this area. It's pitted and all that, but it's all superficial. This one and that one all go through. So we're gonna have to fix up all of this area and do a little reconstruction on that. I'm going to elect to fill that in with, we're going to build that back with weld and grind it back down again. So we'll get the welder out and get to it. Well, how are we now? Good in you. I need a beer. I could ask my wife if she can grab some beer on our way home. I just don't have any. Why is the thing fucking freaking out? The little fucking record symbol's just fucking going fucking, I think it must be shot on the front of the GoPro. On the back, it's fine. It's over there going, whatever, fuck it. We're still recording, it says, so. So stage 2 here. We took the grinder and took that down, and then there were some little pock marks and some spots where where I was spot welding. So we came back and we put a coat on top of those. I'm not going to try to make it super perfect because I kind of want it to blend with all the other little pock marks and whatnot, because otherwise you're going to have a really nice, smooth, shiny spot, and it won't really blend in with the rest of it. So I'm going to hit it one more time with the grinder after it cools off, and then I'll show you what we got for a final product there. This is a real pain in my neck. Literally. It's got like a fucking scab in the middle of it. I was hoping it just popped the fuck off, but no, fuck, no, it won't pop. Don't pop, whatever. So there you go. We hit her with a 60 grit flap wheel. On that last stop, you can see where you fucking worked her into the corners a little bit, polished that inside so it matches that same contour. Well, it's probably a little bit fucking shinier and smoother than the rest of it, but that's all right. We got our patch there. Same with there. You can just see the bluing coming through from when I welded it, but that's still smooth. I mean, we still gotta hit this thing take it down the rest of the way with the flap wheel. So we did the wire brush. If you recall, we were outside, we did the wire brush. Then we ground this all down, did the repair on the wheel, the weld repair on it. And so now we have some structure left in that wheel, so that's good. One thing you want to do is kind of run your fingers along this, right when you're, and if you feel it all of a sudden like it gets thin, you gotta put some more material back in that bud. You know what I mean? Because sometimes guys will patch that thing in, and if you'll be able to feel it if it just all of a sudden it gets thin in a spot. Otherwise, you could take a mic and put on there too for like doing woodworking or whatever, the little style, and you could check it that way. Just make sure you're fucking close. Make sure it feels like it's getting close. So I think that's it for this one, part 1 of wheel 50-year-old wheel restoration. We can save them. If you got any old wheels you need fixed, saved, we can save them. Bent ones, maybe we can get them back. Rusted out ones, fuck yeah, we can fix them. If you can't find one, we can fix them. So if you guys like what I'm doing, throw me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Ring the bell, get my notifications. Memberships are down there if you want one, and I do appreciate it because it helps us out on the channel. We got a little ways to go on this. Come back for part 2. We will strip it down the rest of the way. We'll go through mounting the tire, painting, prepping, all the other bullshit. One more video to go, guys. See you on the next one.